Okay, so thanks for being here, audience of one. We apologize for being a little late. We were in executive session. Well, first we had the beginning of our meeting started at 5:30, where we met with Monolith Solar, which we'll be giving an update on as well. And then we went into executive session, and now we are out of executive session and starting our regular business meeting. So I just wanted to introduce some new faces at the board table. So we have Miss Peggy Clements, who was here last week, but it was not an official meeting, so I didn't get a chance to introduce her. But so Peggy is our latest and newest Board of Education trustee. Her term was taking over Joe Curto's term, so she gets to start right away as of May 19th at 9:01, I think was when she started. So we're really excited to have Peggy here with us, and so she is all locked and loaded and with us as a voting trustee member. And then
I was sworn in that week.
And you were sworn in that week, thank you. And then next to Peggy is Margaret. And Margaret Parr is also to be our new trustee, and she'll start, I guess, July 1st is the official first day. And so she's here with us at the table to participate and get to know the ropes. So we welcome both of you and are really excited to have you here with us. So I'm going to turn it over to Diana. Do you want to maybe talk about our monolith presentation? Sure. What we just experienced for anybody?
Sure. We just had the Monolith Solar Company come down and meet with the board and our school architect and community architect that came in, and Mike Twardy and Ann Dinio. And we had a discussion about the upcoming construction that we expect to take place beginning on July the 13th. And right now, we have approval from the State Education Department to put solar panels on the roofs of 3 of our buildings. One is the main building, this building, the high school, and also the bus garage slash district office. One of the things we talked about today, and we still don't know the answer to it, but we need to determine, based on what happened last summer with the roof of the district office, if that roof is now capable of holding the panels that were originally assigned to that roof. So we know at least the high school and the main building will have solar panels placed on it this summer, and we're going to have to determine and have people come down and make and help us make the determination whether the panels should be going on that roof as well. We also talked about some of the contract clauses that we just need to be clarified. We talked about what to anticipate as far as the length of construction. We've been given a guarantee by the company that we should have no problem with having the construction completed by the opening of school next year, which is August 31st, and the first and superintendent's conference days will actually be the Monday and Tuesday, August 31st and September 1st, and then the students arrive on the 2nd. So that is our kind of our drop dead time for the construction to be complete and for us to be ready to open and welcome our students back in September. So I don't know if there's any questions or thoughts or anything in particular people who were there would like to share, but I think that we had all the questions that we were hoping to get answered, and I think they did a good job with allaying some of our fears that we had as we are about to move into a new construction phase, which always is somewhat difficult, but.
Yeah, it was really nice that they made the effort to come to us and to visit with us. The vice president was there, as well as the project manager. This project has had a little bit of a dust kick up as of recent, right? We thought we knew what we were doing, and then all of a sudden we had a different idea, and so it kind of got a little, I don't know, a little interesting the past few months. So it's great to just focus and feel like we're on the right path, and to reestablish the relationship with Monolith in terms of how we're going to work with them and what they're going to provide with us, and bring everybody into where that contract falls, even though we signed that contract 2 years ago. Yeah. So it's even just remembering what we signed and what needs to get, anything needs to get changed within that. So I feel pretty good about it. I don't know if you guys have any
Yeah, I do too. I thought it was a good meeting. I'm very glad that they came and spent the time with us. And I do have confidence that the project's going to go well. They're going to allocate sufficient resources to make sure it gets done properly and on schedule. Yeah, but I think there's always some fear as you embark on a big project like this. We want to be sure that the school facilities are maintained in the best condition possible, and that this is this enhances the district's facilities, and I think it will. I think I have a good feeling about this project. I think we're going to be happy at the end of the day that we did move ahead with this. But we do need to maintain our vigilance. We put them on notice that we're going to be watching carefully. We want to make sure that they have professional crew on site and everything is done as it's supposed to be. But I think it will be.
And a thank you to our community members that have helped us out with that. Adam
Right.
Hurd and John D'Angelo, both architects that were really there with us tonight. I felt like and really helped to read through everything and go over the details, and it was great to have a nice, educated, watchful eye with us. Okay,
Well, I was,
I think we're good.
what Peter said.
No, I mean, the biggest issue was clearly this concern about timing. The fact that they said they expected it to take 3 weeks, but it had allowed 6 was promising. Weather in the summer is unpredictable. I think it's just something that they'll have been on the job for 2 weeks. When we have our meeting in August, we can certainly plan to take stock then.
Okay, good. Keep going.
Okay, so for my superintendent's report, there are a few things on here. One is you should have received the itinerary for the international club trip to Old Quebec City. And even though they have taken this trip before, we're asking for you to review it and to approve it, because this is actually going to be, part of the trip is done during school time. And so if it's a trip that's that's during a vacation time and it's been approved once, it just continues to move into kind of perpetuity until there's a change. But with this, because it is during school hours, we are going to ask that you give it the nod. So, and do you want
to do that now?
Yeah, might as well.
And it's just like a regular
I don't know if there are
yea or
any
nay
questions.
vote, a roll
Yep.
call vote, or
Yep.
just a, do you have any questions, Evan?
So October, let's see, just how many days is it? I mean,
The 21st
this
to the
is- I didn't really-
24th, and I think it's, it's 2 work school days and 2 weekend days.
okay. Yeah. Maybe you want to do
Yeah.
it now?
Yeah, why don't we do that now? Is it a roll call, or should we just say all in favor? Anne, Julia,
Julia will be able to read something, and it's not a roll call.
just an all in favor?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Julia.
Okay. The recommendation, excuse me, may I borrow the mic, please?
Oh, sure.
Thank you. Okay, so the recommendation is that the Board of Education approves the trip by the International Club to Quebec from October 21st through 24th, 2015.
Okay, all those in favor?
Hang on before
Discussion.
a motion, and because I did have a couple of questions just before we actually vote. So it looks like it's high school students, so it'll be grade 9 through 12. I imagine the number will be relatively small from each grade level, so classes will just continue as normal for everybody else, and the students who are away will just be expected to catch up
Keep up with their work. Yep.
and keep up. Great. No, it looks like it should be a really fun trip. Good.
Excited about it.
Now, to be it's the international club, so it's not necessarily students taking French, it's just in the club.
Right. And they
Could-
do expect it to be students in more than just the French classes.
Okay. Now, is it the kind of thing where if a student isn't in the club, they can join the club so they can go on the trip?
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Access to everybody.
Okay.
We would just need a first and
We
a
need
second.
a motion and a second.
Okay, can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
And we had our discussion.
We did.
We did. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Great.
And we would like to invite anybody who would like to join us to our next board meeting on the 16th of June. And we are going to be saying goodbye to 3 friends who have been with us for many years. We're going to be wishing well to Deb Contini, Dennis Seba, and Rich Bennett for their many years of service to the district. And we have a special guest speaker, Dave Morandi, who wants to join us, and he's going to say a few words about Deb Contini and his experience with her.
Mayor Dave Morandi.
Mayor Dave.
Former
Morandi.
school board
Yeah.
president.
Yes, so he will be joining us. We also have on the 17th of June, our next Community That Cares Coalition meeting. It is at 3 o'clock at the Butterfield Library. If anybody would like to join us, we offer an invitation to that. And the last thing on my report is a discussion on the Haldane Strategic Plan. We presented it last week, and we've had 2 community members share some thoughts with us or ask some questions. One was, there was some discussion about some of the terminology that was used, and one word in particular that I think that concerned one of the community members until we defined it for her was the idea of our students becoming entrepreneurial. And the term entrepreneurial for high school kids or 21st century skills really is not someone going out and opening a company. It's more somebody who thinks out of the box, who takes challenges, who tries things, who thinks through things, and hopefully can be creative in any of the ways that they wish to be creative. And we talked about rigor and relevance as parts of the strategic plan. And part of what we're doing with our strategic plan and the pedagogy that will move us into the next 5 to 10 years is we really try to make the work that kids do relevant to them. And if they're given an assignment, they can take it based on what they have an interest in. And one student might do an expose of any kind of a situation. Another one might make a movie. Another one might write a book. Another one might do something that tinkers or with kinesthetic know-how. So it really depends. They can look at any concept from different vantage points. So that I did clarify. And then there was a concern that there wasn't specific reference to students with special education needs within the 10 goals, and we consider them included in everything that's there. And when we say we're trying to make every child perform to the best of their abilities, it's every child. And so it's included. I guess we can discuss if you want to be more explicit in the goals at this point, but it's kind of understood that we're looking to educate every student to the best of our ability and every student to the best of their ability. So those were the 2 comments that were made. And I don't know if there are any thoughts you want to share.
Yeah, thanks to those who provided the feedback, and I'm glad that you were able to clarify certainly the first issue to the person's satisfaction. I hope that we can actually clarify the document itself with the same elaboration, because if one person has that sort of misunderstanding over a term, it's a certainty that other people will at some point in the next 5 years. So we just want everybody who reads the document to have the advantage of the same context. So I think some clarification in the language would be helpful in that case.
That's a good point too, because actually the term entrepreneur, for those of us who are reading it, which is a different generation perhaps than the students,
Right.
It does mean something very specific. It means starting your own business, right? So that's actually not a bad idea.
So do you want to
Some sort of
actually
clarification.
put a clarifying comment within the goal that uses the term entrepreneurial?
Yeah, whatever you think would be
whatever.
appropriate, just to address the slight misunderstanding there, just to make sure that people are clear.
I did also offer my comments and the response to this parent is on my blog. And also included is one of the books, World Class Learners, written by a gentleman, Young Zhao, who is becoming very well known on the speaker circuit. He is, or I guess is now on sabbatical from the University of Oregon. Oregon, I guess is the right way to pronounce that.
It's tomato, tomato. I think either way is appropriate.
So he has actually written books about creating the 21st century learner and the entrepreneurial spirit within, and moving into the new, I guess, terminology that's out there. So if anybody has an interest in looking him up, I added a couple links to the response so people could learn a little bit more about it. So we will put a clarifying comment in there.
Is there a place for a clarifying comment about, how this is a plan for all students, and that includes students with special needs or disabilities, and special needs really meaning, special needs for me too always seems like it's children with disabilities, but it also could be children who are just super, super strong in academics too, right? Like there's both sides of the spectrum. Do we feel like we want to clarify that in there anywhere? Or
Well,
is
there
an
was
opportunity
one
to?
suggestion in there that I thought was, it was a relatively minor suggestion that made a big difference. And so that may be something we want to include too.
Right, because having sat on the committee, that was really clear. It seemed, I missed a couple of meetings, but whenever I was there, people talked a lot about, for every student really paying attention to their strengths and weaknesses and interests and things they wanted to work on, and so there's no doubt about it that the spirit of the conversation certainly addressed every single student, every single student.
And that individualized, I'm not sure what we called it in the plan, but kind of like an IEP for each student.
Profile, yeah.
Learning profile. That addresses that right there,
Yes,
just
it
the
does.
idea of each student and their strengths and weaknesses, yeah.
Once again, for anybody who's out there and watching, if you have any suggestions or any questions, please ask. And it's on our website, it's on my blog. You can email Julia, and she will get the information to us however you would like to do it.
Yeah, I certainly like what we have so far, but I think it's great to get this additional input from the community. And our plan is to adopt the strategic plan at our next meeting, right? But I think if we were to be inundated with community feedback, then we would want a chance to reflect on that and possibly, make modifications, because this is something that we're going to live with for quite a number of years. So we want to make sure that everybody's represented and it's as complete as it can be.
I would also like to thank once again everybody who did take part in the strategic plan. I've also heard some really positive, wonderful comments and how comfortable people are with the direction that we're looking to go. And we couldn't have done it without the many people that took part in the whole sequence of events. So thank you.
And so I know that we had a little bit down miscommunication from the public about the strategic plan, but maybe now's a good time to ask our public member if she has any comments. Yes. Oh, good. You have a good.
Hello. Is this on? I actually took part in the strategic planning committee, and I must say it was a very positive experience.
Can you state your name for the?
Oh, my name is Carrie Ann Ferry, and I'm a parent of several children here. And I just, I guess, piggybacking on some of the things that you said, I actually read some of the goals, and I think they're great. I also, though, would like to see some specific language that speaks to inclusion and inclusiveness. I think that sometimes in a public school setting, because it is a big group setting, that some specific, circumstances where inclusion may not happen would be more likely to happen and be a better reminder if just the language were there. So That's
And
all I have.
actually, I think that what I was talking about was one of the, and I think you probably have seen the modifications.
them.
Yeah, so it was including the word inclusive.
Okay, that's great.
And
Yeah.
I think that was, and I said just a little thing that meant a big difference, but that was one of the
Right.
things
I'm
I was
actually here
talking
in
about.
support of those.
Yep.
So
So I
thank you.
figured as much.
Yes, thank you.
Great. Does anybody have anything else they want to share about strategic plan while we're on topic? Yeah. So we'll just keep our ears and eyes open for more comments
Evan, did you have
about.
Yeah, no, just over, again, what we talked about last week,
Yeah.
where I thought it was just an overall great experience. And is there any plan, do they ever think about bringing those people back together, like down the line, like in a year or 2 years, to kind of say, okay, this is what we said 2 years ago, where are we?
Right, and I think that what we talked about is the fact that this is going to have to be a living document, because the changes are happening so rapidly right now, and even if it's just, if you look at just technology and what's going to happen, but also the changes at the state level. And so we are going to have to return and make modifications. And I think it's also going to be a living document in the fact that it will help us open school each year. And one of the things we're going to have to use as our focal point are the goals, where we are with them, what we've done so far, where we plan to go. And that's going to be ongoing as well.
Great.
That's actually a really good idea, I think, to reassemble the group at some time in the future, because we as a board will be using this document as a benchmark for progress. The administrative team will be using the document in the same way, and I think parents will be, and the rest of the community will be using the document to say, hey, you said you were going to do this, what have we actually done? Are we making progress? So that's,
The reunion.
inviting people to have a reunion, would be a good thing.
Doesn't the board usually sets its own goals for the year, right? I mean, it would be, would it make sense for us to think about establishing some of our own goals as well, sort of related to the strategic plan? So, you can't do everything at once. Is there a particular, I don't know, something along those lines? So I really like the idea of bringing the people who participated in the committee back in to weigh in on progress, but also for ourselves as well.
So what we did too, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say that one of the things that we're going to be talking about as we begin the year is our action plan. So we probably will want to have an action plan, a board action plan. The administrators will talk about their action plan. The teachers will be talking about their action plan. And so it's going to be a compilation of all of the different areas of wisdom coming together, but that will have to be repeated on at least an annual basis. And I do think a reunion of some kind would be probably midway, I would think would be the right time. Or if we think that it needs to happen earlier, we can do it then as well.
And the board typically sets goals in retreat over the summer. Okay. So we set the goals then, and then we share them with the public, and then we'll be doing a goal assessment in executive session, and then sharing that with the public as well. So we'll be actually sharing our goal assessment for how we did this year with the public at our next meeting. So during our retreat session this year, over the summer typically, is a good time for us to just kind of say, what do we want to do this year? And using the strategic plan as a guide is a great idea. So it sounds like we're just going to keep our eyes and ears open for any further comments from the public. So now's the time, public, to reach out to us, to reach out to Diana via her blog or email.
Or they can email Julia.
You email Julia. So if there's more questions or concerns or changes to be made, we'll address them. And if not, we'll be voting next meeting on June 16th to approve or not.
And there will be tweaked goals coming to you probably this Friday.
Great.
For your review.
Great. Okay, so we're moving into letter E, committee minutes. So we received both the Arts Booster Club minutes and the Code of Conduct committee minutes. we don't need to accept the Booster Club minutes or the Code of Conduct minutes, correct? We're just noting them? Okay. So does anybody have any questions about them? Margaret, you're on the Code of Conduct Committee. Do you have anything you want to?
It's not meeting until next week.
So we haven't met
We haven't met yet.
yet. Well, recently we haven't.
We haven't met recently. Oh, this is from April
Minutes from
7th.
April 7th.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Great. Moving on then, letter G, consent agenda. So the minutes of the Board of Education meeting held on May 19th and May 26th. May I have a motion, please?
Motion?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Consent agenda financial. Can I have a motion?
Motion?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, just one item. I noticed in the central treasury report that we have a couple of clubs running deficits right now. That probably oughtn't to happen, is that right, Anne? Or?
Yes, there's a lot of deposits and funds that come in at the end of the year.
Okay, so that will be rectified
I'm sure that you'll
shortly,
see a
by
change in
next,
that,
by next
yes.
month. Okay, good.
Well, that would be April, that you'll see there's still 2 more months of activity that will happen.
And, okay, and the claims auditor report looked beautiful this month, right? Yeah, everything went extremely well. Good.
We have a great new claims auditor.
No issue reports.
Yeah. Okay, anything further? Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Cool. Consent agenda personnel, can I have a motion?
Second.
John motion, Evan seconded. Any discussion? I know that Dr. Bowers wanted to discuss a appointment, long-term.
Yep,
Go
so
ahead.
I don't know if you have questions first, but there are a number of things that are happening that I just want to share with you. We are looking at moving our ESL teacher into first grade next year, and she was a classroom teacher in the past, received tenure by the district, left and took some time off with her family, came back as an ESL teacher, and now she's moving back into the classroom. So she will be joining first grade, and there will be some changes in some of the faculty members going to different grades next year. So you're going to see some of our well-known teachers moving into different assignments, and it's just keeping everybody fresh, and everybody's going to the area that they have an interest in, and so that's very positive. We're also going to be looking at some changes that are related to the strategic plan, and as you know, through the budget process, we approved and put into the budget 2 positions. One is the Discover, Create, and Innovate teacher, and that's actually going to be Simon Dudar, who is going to be leaving the 4th grade classroom next year, and he's going to be moving into that position. And he is going to be hosting his classes out of the technology lab in the makerspace. And so he will be involved with our teachers and doing co-teaching assignments and working with the makerspace. And he's going to be taking on the role of creating our newsletters, and we're going to be looking at redeveloping the website, and all of this is going to be under the auspices of that position. And so he's also going to be teaching an elective at the high school level, which is going to be entrepreneurial in spirit, and it's going to be similar at the end of the year, where kids come up with their great new ideas, and they present, and it's going to be presented to members of the school community, kind of in a Shark Tank type format, where they have to share and try to convince you that their product is going to be one that is worthwhile and has an interest. So that will be part of it too. The other position that we're in the process at the last stages of the hiring process will be our innovation or integration specialist position. We have 2 people coming in towards the end of this week. to do, to actually teach lessons that we'll be watching, and they will be working with Simon for those lessons. And that lesson will be on areas that are related to technology. We're probably going to hear a lot more about coding. We're going to be hearing a lot more about bringing in the Google Classroom and Google Apps and some of the other technologically related shifts that will happen with the district, including probably Google Email will be coming in our near future, and so that's also coming. So we have a number of people moving into fresh new assignments that will help support what we're doing with our strategic plan and what we're doing with our visions in all our classrooms. So we're looking forward to it.
Sounds good.
So just on the technology integration specialist, so that is not just an instructional position. That's a technical support position as well. So that
Correct.
person will be picking up much of the work that's currently being done by EduTech.
The break and fix work will be done by the integration specialist. But we will still be employing EduTech for the bigger, more complicated technology
The
aspects.
server configuration
Right.
and that kind of thing.
Right.
Okay, yeah, because actually I forgot when we were looking at the BOCES contract to raise this issue, because it looks as though we've eliminated the line in the BOCES budget that relates to the eChalk platform and the web hosting.
That's going to
Yeah.
more than likely happen as we move to a different website. And we're not
Yeah.
sure exactly what that's going to look like yet, but yes.
Yeah, because I'm just a little concerned about the transition. I mean, when it comes to July 30th, do they pull the plug on our website and we go dead?
Oh,
And,
no, I don't think that's
no.
the case, no. Have we removed it totally, or I think there's a transition period, so I think we'll have to clarify that for you.
Right, it's just that it's in another, probably I put it in another BOCES code, but some of it needs to go back in because we realized that on July 1st, we're not going to just be ready to switch over, that
Yeah.
there'll be some transition.
Yeah, because I looked through the items in that invoice for the coming school year, and whereas we used to have a $25,000 line item for eChalk and web hosting, there's nothing for that item
We'll have to
currently.
clarify that, because that's not the intent. You know, we hope that this is a seamless process, but it's going to take a while for everybody just to get used to Google as well.
Yeah.
So for a while, we're probably going to be hosting both, and as people move over, that will hopefully wean away from that, but I don't think there was ever an expectation that we're just dropping it.
Right, but will the technology integration specialist then be the person who's ultimately responsible for the school website?
Yes.
Yes, so that there will be some transition time to give that person because
Right.
it takes a while to get
Right.
get a new website stood up from scratch.
Yeah.
So there will be that transition period where we're relying on the old service.
Yeah, and I do not, and there was never the intent that it would just immediately shift. And there's going to have to be some development, and one of the things that we're hoping for is that there will be an instructional piece where our students will be helping us design it. And so in order to have the design and the kind of instructional piece to it, it's going to take a little longer than it would if we just made a change. But we feel it's very important to bring kids into it, so.
Well, it is, but if, that could really prolong
No, it's not.
the transition. We-
By mid-year next year, I think we're looking at being totally transitioned. But,
Because we are using the money from that budget line to fund this new position.
Yes, part of it.
So we can't really have both going on we don't have money in the budget.
yeah, I don't
to do
think we
both
considered, was
simultaneously.
eChalk even calculated into that position? That was not one of the things that we were,
eChalk, no, that's in a different part of the,
yeah, that was
It's in a
not,
different budget line.
that wasn't transferred into that line. So,
Because I don't see eChalk on the BOCES invoice for next year.
I think that's what we'll have to clarify, but
Yeah.
that was not one of the places that the funding came from eChalk,
Okay.
so.
Are you talking about the invoice that's on?
The one that we just approved, yeah.
The BOCES,
The contract for services for
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah, that is for Putnam, Northern Westchester, and our computer services are with Southern District.
Yeah, it's the RIF.
Okay,
That's why
okay.
it's not.
Okay,
Okay,
that's what
that's
it
it.
is, yep.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions or discussion for our personnel consent agenda? We good? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. So I feel like we have discussed the Haldane strategic plan. Are we feeling good about that? Okay.
In our unfinished business.
Carrie Ann, do you have anything further you'd like to add with our communication from the public?
I don't.
Are you sure? Okay. So we're going to move into new business. We have some CSE and CPSE recommendations. Can I have a motion?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that happen though during the discussion or before the discussion? Like, should you read your recommendations before I motion? Or should I motion and then you should read it during the discussion?
Should read the recommendation and
And then I'll motion.
a motion, a
Okay.
second, and then discussion. and
Okay,
then all in
so it doesn't happen during discussion, it happens before. Great, okay.
Okay, so this is the the CSE, CPSE recommendations, and that the recommended action is that the Board of Education approves the recommendations by the Committee on Special and Preschool Special Education as submitted.
Okay, can I have a motion?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, so I think that's everything before we move into executive session, unless anyone has anything else they would like to share publicly. No?
We're gonna be in the cafeteria on, or we're gonna do it here?
Oh,
On-
that's a good question. Do we
For
know
the-
yet
for
for
the-
the
For the
retirement?
retirees, we'll do it, actually both. We'll
Okay.
have kind of the presentations in here and just highlight their careers, and then we'll go in for goodies into the cafeteria.
Okay, because there's been years that when we expected a big crowd, we actually set up
Oh, okay.
tables in the cafeteria.
So would you prefer to do that?
I mean, it all depends on the expectation of the amount of people that
We
are
don't
coming.
have so many
We only
retirees
have 3
this year.
retirees,
Yeah.
but I don't know if they bring a lot of people, so I don't know.
But you're also not doing tenure at this meeting, right?
That's
Yeah,
true.
it'd be in
That
September.
also
Oh, we're not doing the tenure,
of people.
right?
It's just the retirees.
Oh, it's just
And I know that many of the people who have wished our teachers, some of our retirees, well, have already done it, or there'll be separate
Right.
events.
Right. When are we doing the tenure?
It's in September,
Oh. Okay.
as we did it this year that way. I guess it's,
Oh, okay. Didn't we do it last year? The
Believe so.
Retirees in the tenure last June? We didn't, I think we did.
I think it was in September this year, just the tenure, that they're, because it's when they actually have received tenure, and then we highlight
No,
them.
but we always used to, that's fine that we do it in September, but
We have done it.
we've done it.
with everything
Because
at
I know we
once.
always comment, we always talk about how great it is that in the same ceremony we're getting
Saying
rid
goodbye
of,
and hello,
saying
yeah.
goodbye and then welcoming in the tenured. So like that's always it's been that thing. So I mean it's fine that we're not doing it, but we always, I think we even last year, up to last year we did it. So I don't know
I mean,
why.
I'm just going with the flow, whatever people would like to do. I mean, I also used to do it in the spring.
It's
in
probably
my-
fine. It is a
in the
long
past, but-
ceremony, so
Yeah.
it's probably not a bad idea.
Well, we can try it this way,
Yeah,
see how we like it.
yeah, sure.
So why don't we plan on doing the June 16 meeting in here?
Yeah,
And if there's, a rush of people, we can deal with it
right.
as it comes.
Wow.
Okay, so we're going to adjourn into executive session. Can I, I'm going to make a motion to go into executive session to discuss the employment history of a specific individual.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.